Here's your WNEM TV5 news update.
Good evening, I'm David Custer. Among our top stories, a federal judge has given final approval to a partial settlement in the Flint Water Crisis. The judge signed off on the $626 million deal, providing compensation to tens of thousands of people affected by lead in the city's water supply. The state will pay $600 million. The city of Flint will pay $20 million. McLaren will pay $5 million, and Rowe Engineering will pay $1.25 million. McLaren originally was going to pay $20 million, but not enough people were willing to settle their cases. The fund will be divided into 6 parts, with the majority of it, 64.5%, going to Flint children ages 6 and younger. That and other figures apply to the net funds because there are still lawyers' fees, and the judge has yet to determine those. A bicyclist has died after colliding with a school bus just after 2 this afternoon on State Street in Saginaw Township. Investigators tell TV5 the bicyclist was heading west on the sidewalk along State near Coolidge and attempted to cross State near Linda. They say vehicles suddenly stopped to avoid the bicyclist, who appeared to wobble while crossing the roadway, riding into the side of a westbound school bus. The bicyclist died at the scene. There were no students aboard the bus. A Saginaw man will spend at least the next dozen years behind bars in the deadly shooting of his neighbor. 63-year-old John Lafrebois was sentenced to up to 40 years for second-degree murder. It happened in April of last year on Thurman near Brockway on Saginaw's west side. The victim was 37-year-old John Moore, who was found dead in his garage. And now here's Brian with your forecast.
Thanks very much, David. After a quiet Wednesday, get ready for a bit of a bumpy ride now as we move into the second half of the week. Kicking off with the temperature roller coaster really taking us on some ups and downs in the next 24 hours, culminating with some rain and then turning into some rain and snow showers with a lake effect pattern over the weekend. So here's the setup as we start to head into the second half of the week. On the Sky Tracker tonight, we have this big plume of rain ahead of a very slow-moving storm system over the central United States. The main low that we're going to be concerned with is actually this one, just barely skirting into the northern half of North Dakota out there tonight. That low is going to track gradually toward Lake Superior and then kind of get hung up in southeastern Canada as we head into the next 2 to 3, even 4 days, while at the same time, this area of low pressure in Kansas is going to help to pump moisture into the system. As that migrates our way for Thursday, first, we'll see a warm frontal boundary come on through, elevating our temperatures back into the even 60s as we head into our Veterans Day, before then allowing that rain to spill in during the second half of the day. And plenty more coming along for the ride. So hour-by-hour forecast from 8 o'clock to midnight on our Wednesday evening. Clouds will just continue to thicken up as some low clouds undercut the high clouds that have already settled into our skies. You see there, too, during the overnight period, mainly after about 2 a.m. or so, some brief light showers may come through as the warm frontal boundary lifts across the area. But despite cloudy skies, I do expect a good majority of us on Thursday morning to see dry conditions, maybe even a little window of clearing as we get some brief dry air to settle in over the region around midday. But then all bets are off tomorrow afternoon. Rain starts to roll in along 127 from Houghton Lake to Clare, all the way, in fact, to Chesaning and Owasso around that time, even moving in toward the Tri-Cities. That rain will persist as it barrels east over the course of the second half of the afternoon. By about 6 p.m., dinner time, and of course commute time, we're still looking at some moderate to, in some cases, heavy downpours working on through. The bulk of the steadier rain will then begin to pull into the far eastern thumb by 9 p.m. Some clearing with briefly drier air again tomorrow night, but by the time we wake up on Friday morning, not only will some much colder air be spilling on in, but some rain and snow showers will be resulting from that as we kick into a persistent lake effect pattern that'll carry all the way through the upcoming weekend. Of course, the driver for that, windy conditions, which will be ramping up as we head into tonight and tomorrow. From the relatively light winds that we will continue to have on our Wednesday evening, by the time we're getting up on Thursday morning, we're talking about wind gusts out of the southeast, anywhere between about 20 to 30 miles per hour, getting into the roughly 30 to possibly 35 mile per hour range as we head into our Thursday evening. More or less staying that way, too, as we head on into Friday. And in fact, some manner of breezy conditions will persist again all the way through the upcoming weekend. Rainfall amounts from the steadiest rain, at least, will tend to be on the lighter side, about 1/4 of an inch, the general range here. Some spots picking up a little bit less than that, so we're not talking about a heavy drenching from some rain, but still a soggy second half of our Thursday coming on in. So for tonight, 41's your overnight low, cloudy skies, and just a few light showers possible. Looking ahead to Veterans Day for tomorrow, it's going to be one that gets progressively soggier as the day goes on. We'll start off with breezy conditions and temps in the upper 40s in the morning. Midday sees those winds ramp up, high of about 57, or temp around 57, I should say, back to about 60 by the afternoon. But that's when the rain starts to roll on in, and those winds just keep cranking away. Heading into Friday, rain and snow showers will develop most widespread in the afternoon and evening, and then it's lake effect rain and snow showers throughout the upcoming weekend, even into Monday, before we finally get a dry, quiet day by Tuesday.
Remember to tune into WNEM TV5 on air and online 24/7 for the latest news, weather, and information.